Love you, Fam Jam. I'm just, as any of you people who have watched a lot of my videos, I like to clear the air to help transmute any hard feelings or negative emotions. But I'm just going to explain my big fat ego. Why I named it my big fat ego. Oh, I got sunshine coming in everywhere. Um, so, the point of my last video, my opinion, this morning was about how this person tried to call me out on Queen Romana's page. And I'm like, why are you doing that on her page? Just send me a message, whatever. And then it turned into we need to focus our energies and whatever else. And I left her comment because she commented on the last video on the page, but then I blocked her after because that's just what I do. Anybody who's been with me since last year, I'm not about being mean. I don't like arguing. I don't have time to argue. And I spend most of my time trying to help people. And it's not about me being a martyr. It's literally that is what I feel like I've done my whole life with my friends. So me putting my public life out there uh, just to help figure out all this shit, just like you guys are, it is a little bit of my ego on me thinking that I can help wake up more people with my opinion. We are all narcissistic to a certain point. However, I'm trying to be humble and just use my thought process as a vessel to transmute not only fear but information, or how I gather information. Now, it's very hard when you have so many people commenting on the page. And this is what my point of the last video. If you're focusing on something, a conversation with anybody, not me, I don't care. But if you're focusing a conversation about something and you're trying to call somebody out in public or go on their page and say, hey, this is wrong, or this is what I think, then you must ask yourself the question from way back last year when this conversation started. Is what you're saying on that page going to inspire somebody to want to have a conversation with you in love and light, or is it going to repel that person? And I'll admit, last year, I just said it in my last video. I was triggered, I was fucked off, I put panties on my head, I did whatever. All of that was ego driven. So we're at a point now where we must focus our ego on new intentions and get rid of those old programs. So this isn't about me. It's just really about the situation that's coming up with everybody. This goes to your families too. So your family and you don't agree with a certain thing and they call you a name or whatever, then, and we all just emotionally react with it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, blah, 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 blah. And that's what we've been doing for 20 months now, is defending ourselves. All of us have been defending ourselves with people who don't see our same vibration. So for the last 20 months, we've all been doing that. And then to add on people who are giving and filtering their information, the truther community, then we're just a little bit more vulnerable to that. But again, I will repeat what I'm saying. If you're focusing on that negative vibration or trying to call me mean for blocking people and not putting up, those are clear boundaries that I need to make to protect my own mental health. If I had to listen to all the negative people said about me in the last year, just like you did, and allowed that into your vibration, I'm not doing the collective consciousness any favors. I'm not. I'm just not. So it has nothing to do with but being a martyr. It's just literally, this is who I am. I try and figure out my shit and discuss it with you. If you tune in, then that's awesome. I'm grateful, but that should be like you tuning into other people's frequencies. So if you like someone's frequency and you're you've worked through things that might trigger you with that person before, and now you like that person, I think that's a beautiful story. Or if you realized, hey, that person had me going in one rabbit hole and then I had to stop and then go down another, and that's what happened to some of you who dropped off, that's okay too. Not everybody's supposed to be in the same lane at the same time, learning the same thing from the same people. We all have a part to play, but we need to focus our love on helping each other. So before you ever go make a comment to anybody, even in your family or a person on the street, is this going to help this person? Is it going to help them? Is it nice? Is it loving? Would I want somebody to say this to me? And if it's not, then what is triggering you to make the comment? That's what the video was about. What is triggering you? Do you need to be heard? And I don't mean that in an ignorant way. I do not mean that in an ignorant way, because we all have not been heard in the last 20 months. So I know I trigger people. I've been doing it my whole life. I'm really good at it. Like super good at it. I don't mean to say things that are the truth or my opinion on it. But if something doesn't ring true to me, then, or you're trying to tell me that something doesn't exist in my timeline, then I will argue and then block you from having that conversation, because we're not in the same frequencies. And everybody, all of you in YouTube land, on Facebook, we all need to do that, because you know why? We're preparing ourselves for the QFS. You know, we're going to have these new free phones and new computers that run through the quantum financial system, and they all work with our frequency. So if our frequency doesn't hear the other person, they won't even get through our phones. That's my belief. Like, YouTube is already doing it, blocking and removing comments for me. I don't touch a lot of comments. But there are certain people who I know are just wanting to be argumentative. I know their intentions. I can feel that vibration. So why would I have that person? Why would you have that person? And I'll go back to a comment from last year when we've talked about things like trigger me or whatever, or someone else or your family members. And this is the best piece of advice I can give you. And this is why no one else's opinion of me matters. I would never let someone come in my cute little motorhome with muddy, shitty boots. Ever. Ever. You take those off at the door, leave them outside. Why would you let somebody with muddy, shitty shoes walk around in your mind? With their muddy verbal diarrhea. So if we have learned anything, everybody has a point and a place in this story. But you need to correct your vibrations. I have to all the time. And I'm not saying that from a martyrdom. I'm telling you authentically, this is who I am. You can ask Old and Smoky Spice and all the people who see me on a regular basis. What you see is what you get. So if I wanted to be a real narcissistic, I would make sure that I have better lighting and pluck my eyebrows and make sure I have no bats in the cave and all of that stuff. Yeah, I have a big fat ego about certain things, but I think people mistake that as boundaries. And I'm a nice person, and I've never been good at boundaries, ever in my life. Ever. And I got to thank one of my good friends. I won't say who it is, but we talk often, and we release triggers. And one day she was going on, she won't mind me telling this story because I'm not revealing who it is, and she was going on about her neighbors. Oh, my neighbor's this, my neighbor's that, my neighbor's that. And I said, I don't want to hear about your neighbors anymore. I'm sorry, I love you. It just drags me down. And she's like, she didn't want to hear that. But at the same time, I've never said that to a friend in my life. Ever. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to hear about that. My friend did that to me about 10 years ago when I was doing some bad thing. So it was putting my ego in check. But I was glad that happened, and she was glad that happened. And I can't believe it even happened, because I felt bad about saying it. I was like, fuck, I can't even believe I said that to her. And I'm like, no, I needed to say that because it was my boundaries. So I love her for it, because we just can move on from that. And that's what the information is all about. Don't live in the past. Who cares if somebody got effed off with you last year? Honestly, does it matter when 36,000 children were just discovered under the Coquihalla Highway in BC? Like, all that, those explosions and all of these things are coming to the surface. These people are being saved and rescued, and we're being distracted by who said what to whom. Who cares? Focus on what's important at 11:11. Focus on helping spread the information about how we're helping each other, what's going on in the grocery groups, what's going on in the hay donations, what's going on with people who get removed from their homes, what's going on with people who are struggling with their businesses. If you don't have time to help others, then I think you're wasting your time at this point. You need to focus a lot of stuff on helping others to help yourself. Because when we give to others, then it gives to us. And that's what Queen Romana's page was about. That's what this video this morning was all about. Why go and drag down the vibes? Let's focus on what's the truth. And none of us know anything. I'm the first one to say we don't know shit. That's why I'm like, we can all give our opinion all we want, but until we really know, we don't know. So I'm just saying, there's a fine line between boundary and ego when you're doing my job, but also when you're doing your job, right? So don't take anything personally. I'm not. I'm just really just trying to discuss triggers and let it go. Let it go, let it go. Well, I won't sing that song because it's disgusting and it's a bad song. But anyways, I do love you guys all. And I do appreciate for the time that you actually come and spend time in my frequency. And if you don't like the frequency of someone like myself or others, take your frequency and make your own frequency somewhere else. Find some new vibrations. That's all. That's all it's about. Focus your intention. I'm sorry for that lady. Like, my friend put it best. Like, don't you feel sad that she's thinking about your grandfather in a concentration camp for the last year? I'm like, that's exactly it. That's an old timeline. It has nothing to do with my ego. I'm like, why are we arguing with each other at this point? If you're even on her page, Queen Romana's page, you should be of higher vibrations. That's all. That's all. That's all I want to say. And then I love you guys. Continually sending love to everybody who's in this vibration. Whether I'm on explaining my opinion or whether I'm cleaning my RV or petting Mr. Chow. I think the highest intentions for humanity, this is where my focus is. Nothing but love, baby. Nothing but love. Love and above. So I love you all. Blessings to you all. I love you.